Hey, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 20th of December, 2023. So, yeah, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'll disappear from that little left corner and I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to us, and yes, feel free to ask us anything. So, guys, now then, let's jump into the charts. The first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225, and yes, we are seeing a nice rally, a further rally to the upside. On this one, I mean, this one got fueled also by the positive activity in the US. So yes, I mean, yesterday we saw that the indices continued to rally. So I'll get to that in a bit because that's quite interesting and exciting at the same time for everybody. So yes, look, Nikkei 225, so far so good. I would say I'll go back to my technical idea, which I talked about previously, and I said to a while ago, or should I say last week, I said that if we do break this downside line and we push above that 33,200 territory and we stay above it, then yes, I will go further north. And there we go. We tested my other target, the 33,500 zone. And then I said that after that, I'm aiming for that 33,868. Well, we reached my target, or should I say, mission accomplished, because basically, look, okay, we didn't really hit the level itself, but I mean, that's like more than like 97% of the move made. So look, I'll take that. Honestly, it's never, I repeat myself, and I repeated several times already in these webinars, that it's never about the exact level. It's always about the area near that level. So if don't be greedy, just kind of take what you can, and be happy and live your life beautifully. So at the moment, I would say yes, it was great, a great move. So now what's next? Well, given that we are approaching quite a key important area of resistance. Now, first of all, this 33,868 is the highest point of November, and slightly above that we do have the 34,033 zone here, which is the highest point of this year so far. My question is, can we create a new highest point for this year? Well, we still have a bit of room left, but I mean, okay, there is a chance for doing that. I think that there will be some profit taking at some point. I mean, going before the end of this year, we still have a bit of time left. So, of course, not much, but yeah, a bit of time left. So, tomorrow we have a full day, and then on Friday we have a bit of a shortened day, but not in Nikkei, but mainly in the European and in the US indices. But, oh, sorry, US will be working properly. I'll pick up on that in a bit. So, look, for now, long story short, I'm like I said, I'm taking my cautious approach here because basically, at the moment we are seeing a nice little hold up here, mission accomplished, as I said. For me, in order for me to go higher, further north, I need to see a push further above that area, above that 34,000 mark, somewhere here. I mean, okay, that's my next target for now, but let's give it a bit of room here for maneuverability. So, for the downside, yes, of course, a break of this upside line is needed. Until then, I'm not really, any move back down could still be classed as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. China 50. China 50 is looking quite nice here as well. I mean, so far, this barrier, the 11,158, the one that I kept on talking about, continues to provide resistance. So far, so good. We're still within the falling channel. So as I said to you, that while we remain within the falling channel, we could still go lower. And these, I'm trying to find some signs where to kind of from where to try to and kind of take advantage of it. And there we go. This hurdle here, the lowest point of 2022, continued to provide resistance recently. I mean, yesterday and today. And yes, we're seeing a nice decline. So in a way, I'm aiming for that lower side of the falling channel, and then we'll go from there. In terms of the upside, if you're looking for some higher levels, then a push back above the 11,000 kind of 400 zone here is needed, and then I'll aim for the upper side of the falling channel. But if that gets broken, certainly yes, more buyers here could join it. ASX 200, the Australian index. Look, good result here. I mean, continues to rally. Obviously, we did get some. Just bear with me one moment. Is that correct here? Yes. So we did get some minutes. Yes, there we go. I talked about the RBA minutes yesterday. I mean, I just wanted to say that we got the minutes in there. Look, in general, apart from other stuff from Australia, there's not much. There's not much that's coming out. So, in a way, I think that this reaction here is mainly to the one in the U.S. because, I mean, you saw in the U.S. yesterday we rallied, and but like I said, I'll get to that point in a bit. And so far, look, given that there's an absence of any other news, big news, let's say market moving news this week, that's why I think that it will be subject to what's happening in the US, in the European indices. So for now, I'm looking at the ASX 200 here. Yes, my target got reached, the 7,530 zone. That was the highest point of 2023. That was the previous highest point of 2023. So we've created a new high for this year, and now it seems like we're aiming for the highest point of 2022, which is around that 7,600 zone. Now we're not far from that. We just have a bit of room left, so maybe we could end up reaching that one. But yes, let's be very careful. I mean, look, in general, I am examining this idea of a possible reversal. However, I'm still waiting for some sort of a signal. I mean, look, on DAX, we did get something like that already. So let's see if we can get something like that on the ASX 200 as well. Dow Jones Industrial Average. So looking good. If you've watched my webinars recently, oh, by the way, good morning, everyone. Yes, there we go. There was the first comment in the chat room. So if you have watched my webinars recently, I kept on talking about this 38,000 here on the futures on the Dow. So that's my next target in a way. And I said to you yesterday, look, yesterday we were kind of around here, and I said, look, wait for this one. I mean, if we do start dropping maybe back below the 37,524 territory, somewhere around here, then yes, maybe we could start looking at some lower levels. I think that maybe I could already lift this a little bit towards the 37,663. These are the Dow futures, by the way, so that's why, I mean, maybe you'll have a slightly different pricing on yours. But look, what's interesting here, we are approaching that 38,000 mark, and to be honest, I mean, there is a little bit of room left, so maybe we could reach that one. Yesterday, I've drawn this Fibonacci where I said to you, look, the 23.6 lies perfectly if we do draw the Fibonacci this way, from the lowest point of October here to the, let's say, non-established high here. We have the 23.6, which is around the previous all-time high, which was reached in January 2022. So this could like work out perfectly. So this would look very, very beautiful, I would say. And we do know that the market is kind of is being traded by people. And people do like these, like symbolisms, and do like these like beautiful areas, numbers, and such. So that's why I have this idea here. Don't honestly kind of focus on it too much for now. Let's just focus on that 38,000 mark. Let's see if we can hit that one, and then we'll go from there. Look, because this upside here, this upper part of the potential crazy idea of mine here is around the 38,200. So look, I don't want to say anything yet, so I will just continue observing the price action. If by any chance this suddenly reverses sharply back to the downside, don't be disappointed. For example, if you're thinking, this is the point, this is the reversal and I didn't catch the peak. Never, no, but it's like very difficult you have to be lucky to catch the peak, honestly. You have to be lucky. Nobody knows where the peak will be. If you think, I keep on saying that if you think that the market has stopped running, it will run a little bit more. So that's the rule that I go with all the time, because look, I've talked about this here already. So being 36,000 mark, I mean, we were like in the beginning of December, we were around like 36,000 mark, and look, I mean, now we're near the 38,000. In just a matter of like 2 weeks, we're doing like 2,000 points here on the Dow. I mean, that is crazy. So that's what I'm saying. It will eventually reverse. However, we are not seeing that that peak yet. So I'm being very careful, cautious, and you know what happens occasionally. I'm just kind of throwing the stuff out there for you so that you would kind of be aware that, look, if you're thinking that it might, let's say, spike higher strongly to the upside and then kind of boom, it reverses. It reverses back down sharply and just kind of moves down. So basically, we've seen that happening, and I'll show you an index where we saw this happening. So yes, I mean, I'll pick up on that in a bit. But my game plan, that's my game plan on the Dow. Let's see if that's going to work out or not. The S&P 500. So there we go. Finally, the S&P 500 was the last one to hit the all-time high, and I'm talking about the futures, by the way. So on the S&P 500 futures here, we are hitting the all-time high, and yes, yesterday I kept on talking about this. Last week I kept on talking about this, and I said to you that, look, it seems like it's like S&P was like playing the catch-up games, like, oh, I want one of those as well. What do you call them? Like all-time high. So yeah, I want one of those. And there we go. And this is what I said to you like last week. Honestly, I cannot, like, sorry for me being like maybe sounding a little bit too smug about myself, but I'm very happy about this because this worked out perfectly. So now my question is, can we see that reversal? Now, let's not rush into things, of course. Let's see if we can go for maybe a bit more upside here. I'm just out of curiosity. I want to draw my Fibonacci extension here. So from this low here to this high, and if I do pick this one, then okay, this is amazing. 61.8. Yes, fantastic. 61.8. We've done that one. So the question now for me is, can we find good resistance here? To be honest, we might see maybe a little bit of an overshoot here or something like that, and then yeah, maybe we could see a bit of a reversal. Now look, I mean, maybe somebody might say, but why don't you draw it from here, from this little area? Okay, maybe that could be the case. Excuse me. Maybe that's the case, but look, I'm taking the point here from where we reversed higher back. That was in mid-October of 2022. So after finding this like a low here, we traveled all the way here. I mean, how much did we do? Let me just double check from here. All the way to this. I mean, we did like 38 point, from here, actually, initially it was like 30%. Yep, that's great. 30%, 32%, and then now we're just doing 37%. So, okay, that's all fine. Look, my question now is, can we stay here? Can this work out? Can this 61.8 actually do the job? So if it can, well, guess what? A bit of a retracement back down could be possible, guys. I mean, this is the long-awaited retracement. However, I'm not calling it yet. because the reason is that maybe we'll see some, if Dow, for example, has a little bit of room left to the upside, then it could drag S&P after it. Maybe not NASDAQ, but the S&P. So also something that I've talked about here on NASDAQ 100, by the way, jumping into NASDAQ, is the fact that maybe we have ourselves a possible head and shoulders pattern. Now, yesterday, NASDAQ was a good performer. It came very close to the same gains as the Dow, to be honest. But yeah, it pushed higher, so all good. But now the question is, I mean, after it hit the all-time high, can it go further north? I mean, at the moment, guys, this is looking quite interesting, I would say. And to be honest, I mean, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside on this one, but I need my confirmation. I don't have it yet, so I really, together with all of you, I'm looking at the potential here for some downside, but I'm not getting my confirmation yet. So I need something like that. So look, if we examine the data, the economic data, which is coming out still, so today we do have what? We do have CB consumer confidence number coming out, together with existing home sales. And also maybe those could drag the market a little bit higher, a little bit more to the upside. But then look, the big news is coming out on Thursday. Tomorrow, GDP figures, yes, together with the Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index. And if those disappoint, I mean, beautiful correction to the downside. So I keep on talking about these ideas, guys, when, let's say, when we have, let's say, a run-up to a certain day, to a certain event, you know, but then when the event comes out, we see like a boom, you know, a huge disappointment, and then corrects lower. So look, at the moment, for example, the US GDPs, which are coming out tomorrow, the Q-on-Q Q3 is expected to actually come out double than the previous at 5.2, where the previous one was at 2.1. So yeah, I mean, okay. Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing is also expected to improve. So if we do get, let's say, a miss on the forecast, because the forecast on the GDP is quite high, I would say. If we do miss that, well, I mean, if we come out even, let's say, close to the previous number, let's say a little bit higher, but still closer to the previous number, that could be seen as a negative for the market, in my opinion. Again, I might be wrong, but I think that might be a negative for the market, for the stock market, because the expectation was such a big number, like a double the number, but then it comes out just, let's say, slightly higher than the previous. Yeah, I mean, that would show that everybody was way too maybe optimistic about the economy, and maybe we'll see a decline. So let's not rush into things. First, let's keep an eye on it, and let's see what we can squeeze out of this, because we are at a very interesting historic moment, guys. Let's see if we fall off the cliff eventually. Well, eventually we will, but let's see if we can see that falling off the cliff today, in this month. Because look, this is the monthly chart here on the NASDAQ. And if by any chance we drift back below the previous all-time highs, and we close that monthly candle below that area, below that hurdle, guess what? We have ourselves a beautiful double top pattern. Let's jump into the German index, the one that I talked about the reversal. Look, this is what I keep on saying, and this is what I keep on mentioning, that we did go higher. We did create a new all-time high near that 17,200 zone on the futures here, and we pushed further north, and there we go. Then we reversed sharply. So basically the same day we pushed higher, and then we sharply declined. That was during the ECB, after the ECB press conference. So yes, we reversed. We drifted nicely to the downside, and now we're staying above this upside line still. So yesterday I talked about this. I've redrawn this upside line a little bit to kind of, I think that this way it makes a little bit more sense. So we remain above this upside line. So in order for me to go lower, I need to see a break below this upside line and a drop below the 16,866. If we can get that, great. More sellers here could join in. Now, If we do break this upside line, yes, and we drop below this 16,866, then yes, I will consider a move to the downside. This is from where I'm going to get a little bit more bearish. At the moment, there is still a chance to push higher, so don't rush into this, guys. I mean, because again, we're still above this upside line, so there is a chance for a move higher. But the only thing is that for me to get comfortable with the upside on this one, I need to see a push above the 17,200 zone here. Unless I see that, I'm not really getting into any longs here. The FTSE 100. So let's jump into the British CPIs, guys. Oh, by the way, when I was talking about China, did I talk about? Yeah, I was talking about China. I didn't mention that we did get the interest rate decision from the PBOC loan prime rate, which came out the same as previous. Basically, no expectation, no surprise there. So jumping back into the FTSE 100, yes, we're seeing a nice rally here. Great. Look, inflation. Inflation did go to the downside on the in Britain. What's interesting here is that, I mean, the CPIs, those are just falling. I mean, the year-on-year headline CPI, let's say 3.9. The previous one was at 4.6. The forecast was at 4.3. It came out 3.9. It came out at 3.9, and to be honest, since kind of reversing at the in November 2022, it continues to slide, and recently just started being in free fall. And this is the point where I think that BOE, Bank of England, will start looking into cutting rates. Because why? Because I think with the rate with the progressive, or let's say with the speed that it's falling, there we go. With the speed that the inflation is falling, I mean, if you remember, like even half a year ago, I started talking about the potential idea of deflation. And this is where, central banks might start getting a little bit worried. So deflation could be something to keep in mind. Yes, that's why, and I said to you this last week, that's why when the Fed came out, they said that they're expecting like 3 rate cuts before mid 2024. So why are you suddenly going for something like very, let's say, drastic like that? I mean, it is a relatively drastic move. I would say in half a year, 3 rate cuts. We had like a lot of rate hikes this year. Now they're suddenly, let's quickly, we were kind of wrong. I don't know, like, okay, look, whatever they do, it's in their position. We are here to adapt and adjust to whatever they do, unfortunately. But okay, the same stories with BOE here. I mean, they will most likely start jumping into some rate cuts, because if inflation continues drifting heavily to the downside, then this is where their problem will arise. I mean, yes, getting closer to 2% target, that's fine. Still no alarm, bells are ringing, but like I said, we're seeing the progression, the speed of fall in inflation. So the interest rate, UK's interest rate is currently sitting at 5.25. So a little bit below US one, but there is basically room where to cut. So long story short, for now, the FTSE 100 is doing everything technically speaking correctly. I mean, correct, because I talked about this and I said that if we do pop above this territory right here, I will go a little bit more to the upside. So we're getting that break above the area between the 77,724.34 levels. Okay, great. If we remain above that, then yes, my next target is the 7,810, period. For the downside, I have my downside scenario from around here, but I understand that maybe there is potential here to some, for some moves lower here. So long story short, I mean, if we do, I would say, look, I need to find some sort of a reversal area here. So let's put it this way, if we do start falling back below the below this territory, below that 7,724.34, then I will consider maybe a bit of a retracement here back down. So, and then we'll go from there. US dollar index. So yesterday it fell lower. I mean, we saw some negativity in the US dollar pairs for the US dollar. But again, look, I mean, at the moment, we're stuck here. I said to you before, I'm not really examining anything else apart from this barrier here on the upside, the 102.38. I need to see a push above it in order to consider a larger correction to the upside. For the downside, I need to see a drop below the 101.55 here, and then we will go from there. Forthcoming lower low will be confirmed. So basically, yes, I mean, this might open the door to some lower levels. Gold, let's jump into that one. So yesterday's weakness in the US dollar kind of helped gold to push a little bit to the upside. So we pushed above the 2040 zone. Great, wonderful. What's next? Well, we remain above that area. And this is what I said to you. Look, I will aim for some higher levels if we do continue to trade above the 2040 zone. We currently continue to trade above the 2040 zone. That means my next target is the 2058, which is around that 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. And then the 61.8, that's my next one, which is around the 2080, which is very, very interesting. Look, I am not really saying that we from here could go much, much higher or something like that. No, for now, I'm being very careful, guys. I'm just examining the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci first, and then the 61.8, and then I'll take it from there. By the way, the Fibonacci here is drawn from the peak, the all-time high, to the current lowest point of December. Silver, yes, silver is also stuck here in this area. Again, the same analysis is valid as yesterday, so I need to see a push above the 50% here, retracement on the Fibonacci in order to aim for the 61.8. And on the downside, I need to see a drop below the 38.2 in order to aim for the 23.6. And then we'll go from there. Oil. Oil is pushing nicely, so that's good, working out nicely. Look, I talked about this yesterday as well. I said yesterday we already saw this push higher, and then I said, look, if we stay above this 72.38 zone, I will continue targeting the upper side of the falling channel. And there we go. We're getting closer to that upper side. Fantastic. Almost, let's say, almost hitting it. But I'll take that as a success. If you were in this trade somewhere, for example, you entered here, then this is a perfect moment to take your profit. Why? If you're thinking, why? If you're expecting maybe to this one to break higher or something, yeah, but then you don't know this. I mean, this is the problem. You don't know if it's going to break. Maybe this is going to just hold here. Maybe it'll respect the falling channel, and we'll see a nice, beautiful decline. This is where I'm going to lift my arrow here, and I will aim for some lower levels if we do fall below the 72.38 zone right here. If we do fall below that, then yes, I will go to the downside. Natural gas, there we go. We are breaking. There we go. This is just amazing. Look at this. I mean, I will applaud to this. Because what? I mean, I talked about this on Monday. I said to you, look, maybe this is going to be something like that, where we're going to see, after testing this downside line, we'll see a bit of a retracement, test the 2.42 territory, boom, and then maybe we'll rebound, boom, and then maybe we'll break the downside line, boom, 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 boom. There we go. Honestly, I'm so happy about this one. I mean, now the best part is that I hope it's going to work out, honestly, because I hope it's not going to be just like a little bit of a tease here, So I really, like I said, I'm really looking forward to this. I mean, I'm very happy about this. But look, if you, let's say, missed this downside line and now you're not really sure what to do. I mean, look, keep your eyes on this 2.60 territory. This is quite a good area of resistance, potential resistance. So if we start testing that one, but we, let's say, for example, struggle to overcome it, maybe it could be a little bit of an issue. But if we, push above it and stay above it, great. I will go towards that 2.76 territory or near the 50-day EMA on my daily chart right here. So, just bear with me one moment. So, Cocoa, something that you don't look at very often. Oh, I didn't go to the right the right place. Okay. So Cocoa, let's remove everything and start fresh. Now, one thing what I'm seeing here is now Although this barrier got violated right here, the 4,291, it got violated, and you can see that. However, we struggled to stay above it. That's my problem. That's the highest point of November. And yes, in December, we've created new highs here, but we are struggling. We are struggling with overcoming this. Now, of course, logically, me being me, I would say, hey, you know, if we are struggling with a barrier, then just be careful. Maybe we'll see a reversal. And this is what I'm going to say, actually. And this is what I'm going to say, because if we continue to struggle with this barrier, look, maybe it could reverse back to the downside. Because what I want to see here is, I want to put the weekly chart here. So yes, I mean, you can see that on a weekly is clear. We are struggling with this. I mean, we cannot really go through it. Monthly chart, I mean, if we continue to stay, let's say this month around somewhere around here, then we have ourselves a beautiful hammer on the monthly chart. So our potential reversal signal. But again, we cannot really rush into things yet, because maybe this is a nice ascending triangle pattern, and you know yourselves that according to all the TA rules, such patterns tend to break to the upside. Now, maybe this is also like a nice upside line right here, you know. So we don't know. Maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's not gonna work, but hey, we need to put it on the chart still. So it kind of all aligns itself with this upside line, to be honest, this shorter term one. So yeah, just fractionally. But look, in general, everything's kind of still leaning towards the upside. Can we get that move higher? Again, what I'm considering is, let's say, maybe seeing like something like a spike here to the upside, and then maybe, you know, retracement back to back down. So again, let's not rush into things. Let's see if that's going to work out or not. But at the moment, I'm being very cautious with further upside. Although I understand that the tension, like the problems that the cocoa industry is facing, those are quite big, because again, we have a problem with the crops. They're like diseases, they're eating the crops, and of course, because we humans continue to pollute our Mother Earth, that's why we are creating more problems for plants like these, because you know, there's not much clean areas left for these you know, to grow. Now, the only thing is that what could change this? I mean, we could see a decline, for example, if, look, chocolate, yes, I mean, it's quite popular during the festive season, and then, you know, everybody goes on a diet. So, like, you know, if in the first months of the year, everybody goes on a diet, no chocolate, so demand can naturally fall. But yeah, okay, it's not gonna disappear, you know, but in general, this could, you know, decline a little bit, and people are in saving mode, so yeah, so for summer holidays, and then yeah, so that's why, look, for now, I mean, and chocolate is one of those that you cut down on, one of the first products. Anyway, so coming back to wheat, look, I have talked about this before. After I said that we will, if we reach this 200-day EMA, maybe we'll get a bit of a retracement. We got the retracement. This is perfect here. I mean, we pushed higher. Now what's next? Well, basically, if we do push above the 200-day EMA, and we push above this barrier right here, this 650 zone, let's round it up here a little bit, then yes, it will confirm a forthcoming higher high, potentially attracting more buyers into the game. In terms of the downside, I need to see a drop below the 596 territory, somewhere around here, in order to consider a move lower, because at the same time, we would fall below all my EMAs on the daily chart. Jumping into Ethereum, so we're still stuck. Look at this beautiful thing. I'm not gonna say anything else apart from the fact that we are still stuck, and I'm waiting for a clearance. I'm waiting for a breakthrough one of these trend lines in order to consider the next kind of short-term directional move. So yeah, for me, that's the game plan. I think that even I could lower this arrow and put it right there. So far these two lines are respected. So a break through one of them and staying above or below one of them, then yes, I mean, we could see the bulls or the bears respectively picking up on that. Litecoin, still beautiful, continues to hold above the lower side of the rising channel, so I'm loving this. Yes, this would be nice. This would be nice if we could see a rebound back up. However, at this point, although I'm considering maybe a rebound back up, however, I would probably get a little bit more comfortable with the upside if we do push above the 200-day EMA. So around here. If we can get that, wonderful. I will go to the upside, and I'll consider a further move like this curved move up. Because at the moment we are curving up. Can we sustain that? Let's wait and see. If we break the lower side eventually, because look, don't forget that we are below all of my EMAs here on the daily chart. If we then break the lower side of the rising channel, this could open the door towards that 65.23 territory. Dogecoin, just a quick one, continues to slide. So far, so good. Now, I cannot say anything else here apart from that it is working out nicely. And we remain below this downside line. And yes, as long as we remain below the downside line, I'm leaning towards my 50-day EMA. Let's jump into Forex very quickly. Continues to AUDUSD continues to rally, and this is working out nicely. I talked about this yesterday. I said to you, look, wait. I mean, if we remain above the 0.6690, I am aiming higher. My next target is the 0.68 zone and the 0.6821. And we are approaching that carefully. Actually, this is what I wanted to I just spotted it right now, and I think that it could make sense. So maybe actually makes sense targeting this territory, the 0.6795. Okay. Look, it's I think that would be a little bit more sensible. So yes, if we continue to trade above the 0.6690, then yes, my next target is the 0.6795, and then yes, maybe this 0.6821 could work out as well. So I'm kind of aiming for those two levels, but first for this one, and then we'll go from there. AUDNZD. So this one is, look at this. Look at this. I mean, I love this pair. I like it. It's amazing. It's just, it's like that puppy that you don't really want to grow out, because then he'll just be like big dog. But this is AUDNZD. I kind of look at it as like that little puppy, which is kind of nice, and like it kind of plays with you, and plays with you nicely, and it's not really like annoying you. And honestly, that's the pair. That's the one that I'm looking at all the time, and I really love it. And yeah, I mean, look, so far it's very technical. It continues to trade below this downside line. Yes, it's flirting with this downside line, but it's not really moving away further from it. I said to you that if we do drop below the 1.0773, I will consider a larger correction to the downside here. And so far, it's respecting this hurdle. So yes, I'm going to stick to that. And look, I'm going to stick to that idea. If we do fall and stay below this, then yes, I will aim for this upside line drawn from the low of the 6th of December. If we push above this downside line and climb above the all the EMAs here on my daily chart, I will go to the upside, and maybe not all the way here, although I like it, but maybe initially targeting something around this territory near the 1.0862, and then I'll go from there. AUDCAD. So this one's also doing a very nice, good job. And there we go. I mean, I said to you, I will go higher if I do see a pop up of the 0.904361 territory right here. And then, yes, I'll go from there. That's it. Honestly, I'm not really adding anything else. The same game plan is valid. I just wanted to pick up on this one to show you that we are getting closer to this barrier. For the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line here, and if we can get that break, then yes, I will go a little bit to the downside. AUDJPY, beautiful rally. Look at this. I mean, this is just amazing. And guess why it's pushed higher? So risk on environment yesterday kicked in again, and yes, I mean, as we know, AUDJPY is that risk on, risk off monitor. We do have a risk currency AUD against the safe haven Japanese yen. So this basically, when the market does good, AUDJPY rallies. When the market starts selling off, AUDJPY falls off the cliff. So And that's why, I mean, at the moment, there is a good chance for moving further north. Look how well we reached the 78.6 here percent retracement on the Fibonacci. So I think that we can get rid of it now. So this is working. This worked out well. I talked about this pair, by the way, yesterday. If you remember, I said to you, look, if we do pop up of this 96.27, which is around the 50% retracement on the Fibonacci, I'll aim for that 61.8. Tick, tick. Mission accomplished. Fantastic. And we also, I mean, it kind of overdid it, but hey, okay, I mean, it's impossible. I would never kind of say that you would go here, but okay, it went here. Look, what I really want to do here is I want to have a fresh look. Now I want a fresh look. I want to see what can we do here else. I mean, what else can we do here? So first of all, we have this upside line, which is still kind of in play. Now, I do have this little tilted downside line, which could be a nice good target as well. So look, if we continue, and let me just find a good level here. If we continue to trade above this 96.83 zone, which is the inside swing low of the 21st of November, then yes, basically something like this here could be possible, something like that. And then yes, we will go from there. Now, at the moment, this is going to be my game plan. If you're looking for some lower levels, then probably a drop back below the 50-day EMA could do the trick for a few more, sellers. Now, look. Also, something that I'm considering here is this, but it's a very tentative upside line, so basically might actually come in line with the idea of breaking below the 50-day EMA, and then we could go from there. So, long story short, that's my situation with the, that's my game plan for AUDJPY. Let's see if it's going to work out or not. NZDUSD continues to rally. Beautiful. Everything's working out nicely. So, yes, we've created, we tested my other level here. So we popped above the 0.6222, and then I said that if we might reach this 0.6273. Okay, fantastic. I had this one. Now the question is, can we go further north? Well, to be honest, I'm not really that optimistic on this one. However, I mean, at the moment, I have to stay like that. I have to stay optimistic, but I think that maybe we could actually reach something around here. Something around this inside swing low of the 14th of July of this year. 0.6365, good potential target. Hey, why not? That's going to be my next target if we, as long as we remain above the 0.6273 territory. In terms of the downside, well, if we probably start falling somewhere below this little high, the high of the 14th of December, then which is around the 0.6250, then yes, I will consider a move. Lower. NZDCHF, beautiful nothing. Beautiful nothing, because I mean we're still in the box, and I said to you, I'm waiting. I need to get out of the box. So yeah, we need to get out of the box, and then we could consider the next short-term directional move. So at the moment, we're still in the box. We need to be a little bit more, more thinking about getting out of the box. I cannot say anything else about it. But look, if we do pop up with the 0.5428 zone here, I will get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. For the downside, a drop below the 0.5350 zone here could do the trick for a few more sellers. NZDJPY, again, similar story. It's almost the same as AUDJPY. But AUDJPY is kind of considered as a better risk-on, risk-off monitor. So yeah, we've got the push. If we remain above the 89.66 territory, I will continue targeting the upside. For the downside, I need to see a drop below this territory here, this 88 zone. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. USDJPY. So this is an interesting one. So yesterday, the US dollar did decline, but we saw Japanese yen declining even more. So that's why we saw USDJPY pushing nicely to the upside, and we tested the 200-day EMA. Look, I said to you before that my upside scenario is from this downside line. If we can clear that, then yes, great, I'll go for some higher levels. If for the downside, a drop below the 141.55 territory is required here in order to go lower. And if we can get that move lower, then yes. If we can get that drop, then yes, I will go further south. So basically, that's my game plan here with game plan with with USDJPY. At the moment, while we remain in here, I'm just observing the price action. USDCAD. So yesterday we got some numbers, Canadian numbers, inflation numbers. So yes, those, let me just have a look. So the core came out a little bit higher, and so the year-on-year came out a little bit higher, the core one, just by 0.1%. The year-on-year headline one came out the same as previous. Okay. So it came out the same as previous. So we're seeing some strength here in the Canadian dollar, but that, I think that also is sparked by rising oil prices, and everything's kind of aligning here naturally. We fell below the 1.3380 zone and talked about this, and I said that my next target is the 1.3315. To be honest, I'm still going to target that one. I really like that one for now. So yeah, why not? For the upside, well, I need to see a push back above the 1.3417 in order to consider a move higher. USDCHF, there we go, guys. USDCHF. So we dropped again below this 0.8675 territory, 76 zone. We stayed below it, so now I'm leaning towards this lowest point of this year, the current lowest point of this year, near the 0.8552, something like that. Yep. And I'm gonna lean towards that area. That's it. And then I'll take it from there. Maybe we'll rebound. Maybe we'll see something like this. Who knows? But for now, yes, I'm leaning towards that zone. If we climb back above this 0.8675 territory, I'll consider maybe a bit of a retracement back up. GBPUSD. So let's have a look how the British CPIs impacted the British pound. Of course, negatively, because I said to you that those numbers declined, and we needed, in order for, oh, sorry, my back is killing me, in order to see some positivity in the British pound, we needed to see inflation numbers coming out higher. So this would, would mean that the interest rates, this would speculate, that interest rates could still go higher and stuff like that. That's why we're seeing the kind of, the positivity when the inflation numbers rise. However, we saw a decline, yes, and we saw a decline. We're now seeing a decline in GBPUSD. We're still above the upside line, and this upside line drawn from the low of the 1st of November. As long as we stay above it, there is a chance for a move higher. But I'm taking a very, very conservative approach, and I'm waiting for a push above the 1.28 zone right here in order to go higher. That's it. These are my areas. I'm going to stick to those. And yeah, I'll wait. While we remain here, I'm just going to observe the price action. GBPCHF, there we go. We are drifting nicely to the downside. So we broke the lower side. I talked about this. And I said to you, look, I needed for further upside within this range, which we were previously in, I needed to see a move above the 100-day EMA. Did we get that? We got just a few false breakouts, but then we didn't stay above it. So yes, we reversed back down, and I said to you, look, in order for me to go lower towards the 1.0915, I needed to see a drop below the 1.0990. There we go. Fantastic, good move here. Brilliant. What's next? Next we're trying now to find if there is some steam, if the bears have enough steam to drag this one here. So first of all, towards the 1.0845, and if that gets clear, then it's the then it's this one right there, the 1.0783, which is the current lowest point of this year. And then yes, we will go from there. But at the moment, like I said, yes, I'm leaning towards the downside, but I need to see this pair remaining below the 1.0915 territory. EURNZD, we are drifting nicely. So look, I threw out this one on Monday here. This idea, I said that we are waiting for this clearance here of this 1.7463. And if we can get that clearance, then yes, I will go a little bit lower. And so far, so good, to be honest. We are drifting nicely to the downside. We are clearing this territory. Can we stay below it? Now, that's my other, if we can, yes, I am leaning towards the 1.7395 and then the 1.7168 territory right there. And then we'll go from this one, from there, guys. With the upside, look, I'm not really touching the upside yet. I mean, my ideal scenario is from around here, but maybe we could start looking at something inside here, inside this little range. But not yet, because again, at the moment it's leaning towards the downside. EURUSD finally, so there we go, beautiful reversal back to this downside line. And now the question is, can we again break and stay above it. Well, we can break, but we cannot stay above it so far, it seems like. However, if the US dollar continues to weaken, then yes, we could see this one pushing nicely to the upside here. Maybe I'm going to aim for my psychological 110 zone again. And if that gets clear, the 1.10, 50, 65 levels are the next ones that I'm watching. But for that, again, I need to see a nice good push above this downside line. For the downside, well, look, I have this arrow which is crossing this upside line, but my preferred downside scenario is from around here, from around this 1.0888, and then I'll take it from there. And I'll look if we can see a test of this upside line. If we can break it, great. And then yes, so on and so on. But at the moment, yes, I am keeping an eye on this one right here. I'm keeping an eye on this 1.0888 territory. So that's it, guys. That's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. And thank you very much for watching and listening. Just to let you know that there will be a session tomorrow and on Friday. But of course, not on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I will be back only on Thursday and Friday. Yes, so guys, I hope you found this session useful. Join me tomorrow, as always, 7 o'clock GMT time. But for now, have a beautiful trading day. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Don't risk what you cannot afford to lose. Don't overtrade. And everything will be fine. Just these few rules, you know, and everything will be fine. So thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Uh-oh, you just broke a digital image cursing us all to 7 years of market volatility. Undo by subscribing to our channel.